Hello and welcome to the Spiritual Solopreneur Podcast. Today, my guest is Adele Bernard. Adele is a transition mentor and teacher, home whisperer, animal communicator, and intuitive guide. From a young age, she was blessed with the gift of perceiving people's pain, feeling their emotions, and even seeing the energies around them. This ability has become her guiding light as she helps people navigate life's most profound and challenging transitions so they can shine their unique light on the world with purpose, understanding, and resilience. Hi, Adele.
Hi, Bev.
How
Thanks for
are
having me
you?
on the show.
Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. So, Adele, let's talk about a little bit to start about transition mentor and home whisperer or house whisperer. What are those, and how do they go together for you?
Um,
In a nutshell.
in a nutshell, let's just start off with the big elephant in the room. So, as you said, as a young child, I was able to sense and feel things and didn't understand that no one else could. I also was a delayed speaker because I didn't realize that you had to use your voice to speak because I had all my friends that I was speaking to. So
Oh,
put all
those
that
kind of
in.
friends?
Yeah. So put all that in. Later on, I realized I could sense the energy in a home. And so when I started that work, it was long before Zoom, long before telephone calls were cheap. And I used to receive a letter in the mail with a check saying, I hear you can help me. Let me know. And then I'd do the work energetically from anywhere in the world and I'd send back the report. Sometimes I heard from them again, sometimes I didn't.
So
I
you
I
just get,
trusted the process.
right, you just get requests to have a feel of their environment?
Yeah, like they had various things going on, like especially in countries where known spirits are
Right.
and they're okay with it, but they want to know good, bad. And I never understood. Like sometimes they'd say, "Oh, well, so and so told me," and I'm like, I don't know. Like, say you sent me Joe, and I go, I don't know who Bev is. But that's okay. Bev knows somebody I must know, and I trust who connects us, right? There's always that
Right.
6 degrees of separation.
Right. Especially if there's a
And
check in the mail.
well, and
It's a
that
commitment.
just that just shows that um and this is what I truly want to change by being able to share the message on all these podcasts is that I don't want to be your last resort.
Right.
I would like people to have the conversation with me before they're at their wits' end, going, we're totally losing our minds.
Yeah.
Or, our house is caving in, we don't understand. And so I actually posted the other day about um, I can't fix your leaky faucet, but I can tell you it's going to happen.
Mm. And can you tell them why it's leaky in using that analogy?
It depends. Some like so many things in the home and in the body have nothing to do with how it's appearing. Everything comes back to an um
Source.
emotional source that somewhere in your life you have let it get stuck and it grows and grows and grows until something happens. Like cancer, or like cancer is absolutely an emotional disease,
Yeah.
right? And and I'm cautious in saying that because yes, my family members have all had cancer. I have people in my family right now going through cancer. Do I gingerly tiptoe around this topic? Absolutely. But I also know if you go deep enough and if they want to really find out the reason, they'll learn.
Right. So you're not saying that you're going to heal them,
Mm-mm.
but let's get to the bottom of what is causing it, and it's some kind of an energy situation.
Yeah, and it's even like prime example, I'll use my own. This summer, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I've gone through all of summer without a mosquito bite. If anyone knows me, they know I don't like summer because of mosquitoes.
You and me
It's ev-
both, kiddo.
it doesn't matter how much chemicals I put on my body, they get through it, they eat me. So a couple weeks ago, I'm out in the park with my friend, and I'm like, I have my bug stuff on, I have layers and layers and layers, and I got eaten.
Mm,
So much so that I had to go to my doctor to get like doctor antihistamines because over the counter doesn't work.
mm.
And I'm like, it's not
So,
about the mosquitoes.
yeah. What happened?
Well, for me, it was a really, really deep seated guilt. So they were coming to me saying, are you ready to let go of this? Are you ready to? And I'm like, and so they used me as a pincushion. And I was like, oh my gosh, how long have I been carrying that around? And the crazy thing is when we're unconscious in this present time, these things that are coming up to be released, they're like lifetimes. They're they're dimensional through family lineages. Like it's like I'm finding it's really crazy and deep, but
Hmm.
also so enlightening when you go, "Oh my gosh, that makes sense." Because you see that you could pull that thread and whoosh, everything starts unwinding and you're going, I'm so glad I let that go.
Right. So
Yeah,
when you had the deep-seated guilt, I don't need to know, I'm not asking, not trying to pry, just saying, it wasn't anything to do with mosquitoes, I'm assuming. It
has
was
nothing to do with
something
mosquitoes.
to do with the situation.
It's about for me, it was about um different things in my life that I thought like I let go of or situations that I'm like, it was fine.
Mm,
My mouth was saying it was fine. My body was saying guilt. I'm like, what? So all of this guilt, like different parts of my life, different lifetimes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, would never have thought that was mosquitoes for me.
hmm,
Because I was saying to my family one day after I got eaten, and I said, I had a horse my whole life, like growing up.
mm,
There's no way I could have spent 12, 14 hours a day at the barn all summer long if I got eaten by mosquitoes.
right.
It wouldn't have happened, right? Because the pain I was in from the mosquitoes from an hour and a half in the park, it wasn't like the conversation was worth it to a point,
Yeah, yeah,
right? But it was the pain of it. And I'm like, this is crazy. So this is what I say to people. It's not about the situation at hand. It is what we are making it mean,
right.
right? And I've seen this over and over and over with women having babies.
Okay.
I personally have never had a baby this lifetime, but I can imagine it from other lifetimes. Some women, it's the most traumatic thing they'll ever do. The fact that they have more than one is amazing to them, more importantly than anyone else. And others joyfully say, well, it's painful, but it's no different than going to the dentist,
Right.
right? And I go, interesting. So it's their perspective of my body is built to naturally do this. It's my belief system that will make it hard, or the conditioning that will make it hard.
Yeah, because most people have heard all their lives about the
Mhm.
pain of childbirth. That's all
Mhm.
you ever hear about childbirth. Right.
Well, and it's funny because I've had a lot of friends who've had home births, and it's the most beautiful, electrifying. Like their older kids are involved, like, and I'm like, No pain? Well, it's fleeting,
Yeah.
right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, right?
Right.
It's so beautiful. Like they reenact the beautifulness of it, and you're going, well, who wouldn't want to have that?
Yeah.
Or you hear the other ones are going, it was so long, the labor is crazy. I'm like, I needed the drugs, and I'm like,
100 hours a labor or something.
right?
Um,
And
yeah.
the funny thing is that what doctors and stuff don't tell you, the more you take the drugs, the more you're in labor.
Oh no.
Yeah, right. So, but they don't tell you that because they're there to perceive you to be comfortable. It's
Hmm.
easier to go through the labor faster. Your body won't react to the medicines, and you'll come out of it faster.
Yeah. It's
But
probably easier for them too.
yeah, but you know what? Everyone has their journey. Everyone has their stuff,
Hmm.
and um, yeah.
So just talking about having a baby, I mean, that's a big transition in
Hmm.
life. Is that the type of thing that you're attracting these kinds of big changes?
Yeah, so I say it doesn't matter what the transition is, it's how we're going to deal with it. So whether it's having a baby, getting married, getting divorced, changing jobs, retirement, death of a loved one, or even a pet, right? It's anything that's going to kind of up the level of the status quo, right? And I'm all about helping you come home to yourself so the outside world kind of dissipates so you can move through this in the most gentle, kind way for you,
Right.
regardless of what the outside world's saying.
With ease and grace, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it sounds like, you're helping people be comfortable in their own skin a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well, 95% of people aren't anywhere near their body at any given time.
Up here somewhere.
Yeah. Not grounded. Well, and so this is really funny. Um, I don't know if you or your listeners listen to Eckhart Tolle,
Sure.
but he's a walking guide.
What's that?
Why is he a walk? Well, he was from the spiritual realm. They put him on earth because we as human beings have to be doing something. So they gave us Eckhart to read his books so we can do while we're being on the park bench.
Oh, clever.
And I when I heard that, I was laughing. I'm going, of course, because when you're not in your body, you're not in the presence. And if you're not in the presence, you're not being human being. You're human doing.
Doing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But in the presence, we're being. We're letting the outside world just go around, do its thing, and we're in presence. We have no opinion of what's happening.
Hmm. It's not negative or positive. It's not
It is what is.
right. Well, that's his message too, of
Hmm.
course, to be in the present
But
moment type
that's what
thing.
we're all supposed to be doing.
That's what we're all supposed to be doing. Exactly. And are we doing it?
No, no.
No. Um, yeah, so the I guess what's happening is people are coming to you when they're, going through these transitions, um, and or if there's something going on in their house.
Hmm.
Um, so um, do do you find that you get there or you do it remote, I
I
guess,
do it remote.
and you're talking to the person, and do you find that you perceive things going on in the house that are causing them to have problems going through this transition? Is that kind of how the connect?
Um, it happens so many different ways.
So
So,
many different ways, yeah.
for instance, um, I had one client who they were expecting a baby. They just bought a house, and I happened to be visiting, and it was like she was just on nerve, right? And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Like, you know what having a baby's all about. You know, like you're really excited. Why? Right? And literally the room that the baby was going to go in, their older son couldn't sleep in. He was originally put in that room, and he'd end up in their bed every night. And he's like, what? What's going on? He doesn't come into our bed. So they changed his room to the other room, which was fine. I'm over there and I'm like, oh, so the baby's going in this room? And they're like, yeah. And I go, not now. What do you mean? And so, and I didn't know that their older son was originally in that room.
Mm.
And so I ended up doing a clearing on it. And all of a sudden, her energy just dissipated. She was calm. And I said, oh, interesting. So she was anxious about putting the baby in that room because
Ah,
whoever owned the house before, I don't know what they did, but that room, you just couldn't go in. Like, it was just no way, right? But after it was cleared, she had the baby slept in the room, everything was good. The older son was fine in the other room, all good,
awesome.
right?
But you have no idea what was causing that room to have that,
No, not right
and it
now.
doesn't matter.
But then I had another client who, this is in her marital home. There was a part in the living room that was just, there was energy there, and I couldn't figure out what the energy was. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what happened to you when you were 3? And she goes, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. And then she says, oh, let's phone mom and maybe she'll remember. And her mom said, whatever. And I said, oh, okay. And all of a sudden and her marital home energy shifted, her body shifted, because it was finally allowed to be let go. She phoned me 2 weeks later and said, I had no idea I've had hip pain my whole life.
Had what kind of pain?
Hip.
Oh,
She
hip.
had hurt her hip at 3. Now in her
Oh,
50s, it finally released.
oh my gosh.
So
So, yeah, go ahead.
they're kind of hand in hand, right?
Right, right.
Like, I personally um like to work with the home first, but sometimes people can't afford it because that is my big ticket item, and I'm going to be upfront with that. Um, but if it's not, we'll work with as much as the body as we can and your emotions to get you through it. And maybe the house might release, maybe it won't. It depends on what it is going on. And it doesn't mean you have to be a homeowner. You
Hmm.
could be renting. You could be just in a room. It could be your office in your room, right? Because your house for the family might be fine, but your office needs to generate money. But if it's a zen place for your family, the office is can't be zen. Like, right?
Well,
So it all
yeah,
comes part and parcel. But the more important thing, like you said, is I hold the space in a container of safety, no judgment, and love, that you could move through the transition with ease and grace. So
right.
whether you do step in, I call it the, like, the one-off session of like dip your toe in the water, I'm not sure, or you sign up for my 3-month program of individual hands-on, let's work through this stuff, let's go really deep, you know,
Yeah,
or you just come for a house clearing, it doesn't matter.
cool.
You
But
will know what you need, or
mhm,
just have a conversation.
yeah, yeah. But you can do the house clearing remote too, right?
I do everything remote.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know we talked once before and you mentioned that you felt guided
Hmm.
um, from an early age.
Hmm.
So how does the guidance manifest itself? How do the messages come through? Do you see images or
It
get feelings or
it depends who's sitting in front of me,
mhm,
or it depends if it's for me. So for me, usually it's dreams. I'll see things, I'll go, okay, that will make sense at some point. Um, for other people, like say, say you're newly married and you're in that phase of trying to get pregnant, and you'll be like, well, and then, like I'll actually see a baby's head above your
Oh,
shoulder, right?
oh,
Or or if it's something like an illness, whatever, like I'll be like, what's going on with your liver? Why? Like I'll see dark spots,
okay.
right? Um, or I'll hear things like, "Oh, you're not sleeping at night." Okay, well, these are some of the reasons. What's going on with, you and your son or you and your husband or like, well, what do you mean? Well, let's dig deeper, right? And we'll go deeper. And it's like, there's that underlying, no one's talking about tension.
Right,
You're not sleeping because you're grinding so hard, you're waking yourself up.
right. And you're getting hints one way or another, either seeing something
Yeah.
or
Or I
yeah,
hear it, or I feel it, or
yeah.
I have all the clairs, as they say.
Oh, you do? Oh, good
Yeah.
for you.
Well, it makes it like it before I knew all this, it made it very hard to go out.
To go out
Yeah, to
in
be in public.
public
Oh yeah, like
because you're
I
seeing,
no, yeah, like I mean, like I was the first person in line to go get the concert tickets, but oh, I had anxiety going to the concert.
why?
So, well, because of people drinking and all, like when spirits are flowing, spirits in the house.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Oh, wow, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
So you have a lot of experience with spirits,
yeah.
good or bad. Are there negative entities out there that latch on to us and live in
Absolutely.
our places?
Well, I wouldn't say negative. They're just confused souls that are trying to find someone who could help them. And um and it was more so when I worked corporate because I was in downtown and it's more that energy. And I'd come home and I'd be like, what is going on? Who came home with me? Because it's literally a monkey on your back,
Wow.
right? And at the time I suffered from migraines at the best of times. So it would be like it's just a normal day having a migraine, but they're different, right?
Yeah.
Or I'd have clients phone me. I think I have a Klingon. And I go, why? Because I can't function. Because you'll be fine and then you're not fine and you don't know why.
Huh.
Yeah.
Any other symptoms of that? Just curious.
Um,
Get sick all of a sudden or something like that?
Sometimes or loss of direction. Like you just kind of like the old joke of like, why did I come in the kitchen? Because they think you're hungry, but you're like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I have that problem.
Yeah.
I land up in a room.
Like it's like,
What am I
yeah.
doing? Oh dear. Well, how do you then protect yourself? Because you're going out in the world and there's all these things happening that we don't see.
Um, well, there like a lot of people talk about putting the circle of light around,
Hmm.
and that's just like they're all tool like there's so many tools, but you have to find the tool for you,
Mm,
right? For me now, it's more of I know God's with me and I'm with God, and so nothing will happen. And I've also said if there is a spirit that needs helping cross over or is confused, I'd rather you come forward, don't attach. Just come and ask for help, and I'll gladly help you. I'm not into the attachment anymore.
yeah.
The ones that want to attach, you can go find another body to attach to. That's not for me.
And then they can come to you. You can
Well, I mean,
hopefully get rid of it.
yeah. No, but I mean, they like Because, like, it's been a long time since I've had one, and it was just like, guys, this isn't cool. We're human beings. And here's another one, like with parents with kids having night terrors,
Yeah.
right? Like, they're not usually night terrors in what the way we think of them. It's usually spirit coming to the the person that is the most angelic. So as adults, we've gotten too far away from the angelic realm. Where young kids, when they go to sleep time, they go into that angelic realm so easily.
Right.
So loved ones will come to them to give messages, and they it scares them because they don't understand who these people are. But if you go through the photo album and you go, oh, well, this was your great grandma, this was your great grandpa, that's him. Who's him? That's who comes to me at night that I get scared,
Yeah. Well,
right?
that's cool. Then
And
they can say,
yeah,
well, you
and
don't
so
have
what?
to be scared anymore. It's grandpa.
Well, yeah, and so then, so once the parents know, the kids will feel safe to talk, and they'll say, "This is the message Grandpa has for you," because it's usually their
Oh,
great grandfather, right? So it's
right.
too far removed.
Well, I wonder if, I think you're right. That's true of kids in general, and probably always has been true of kids, that the younger they are, the more in tune they are with the spirit world, etc.
Mhm.
Do you think it's even more so now? Like, I notice in the past 15 years or so, we started hearing about these indigo kids,
Mhm.
and they're extremely talented,
Mhm.
extremely intuitive, spiritual right out of the gate.
Mhm.
Do you think this is a trend that the kids coming into the world now are more attached or more connected? The veil is thinner, in other words.
Well, so I'm an indigo child.
Okay.
Um, the indigos were brought onto the earth as the the light beings of what's possible. Then the crystals started. So you're probably picking up on crystals,
Yeah.
right? They were saying, okay, the vibration of the world has lifted enough that the crystals can now come in, and now the star seeds are here, and
Oh,
they're just like magnificent. And I knew a nurse who was in the maternity ward for 40 years, and she's just like, they are coming in different. And I go, what do you mean? I don't know. I'm holding them, I'm looking at them, and you are different beings.
interesting.
And
They
that's
know
40
stuff.
years, 40 years of a brand new day old baby. And these nurses are like, they're different.
Wow. Yeah. Um, and I wonder what that means for, how's that all going to evolve? It just, I
They're
mean,
here as
it's,
the light to show us the light. They're
yeah.
here. They're here as the higher vibration to show us that there is no veil. It is us that has kept the veil, right? Um, and even in my knowing of the indigo of we have said that we would come back to transmute the darkness
Mhm. Mhm.
as this new step going into this new world that we're in now. There's some people that say we haven't quite made it, the other people were already in it, whatever. Like, semantics when it comes to time, and there's no time. But we've never as a species moved from a zodiac sign to a new one. So we've never moved from Piscean to Aquarian,
Right.
right? So whether we're fully in Aquarian or not, I don't care. We're in Aquarian, right? And Aquarian, the energy is really different because it's all about the love and community and compassion and kindness and working as um, a united world,
Right.
right?
Is
And
this, go ahead.
well, and I don't want to go politics wise, but it's
Right.
like what I'm hearing and seeing is borders will disappear
Right.
because the technology will all flow as one technology. The resources will all flow as one resource. The right? Like so instead of being this world against that world and whatever, it's just going to be the world of technology supports the world. The world of the resources feeds and looks after the world. Totally different, right?
And how it should be. We're the ones that make up all these country borders and whatnot.
Yeah. But they're going away.
Yeah.
I don't know if in our lifetime, but they are going away.
So is that the ascension everybody's talking about? The
No, the
ascent.
ascension is finding your own light, coming home to you.
Oh, okay. So you're
Yeah.
helping people
Mhm.
with
Come home to
their
them.
ascension,
Yeah.
essentially.
Because even like with my background, like I really wanted um like so I live by the Canadian Rockies and we have this one mountain that I just love, right? And I have a beautiful picture of it with the sun setting. And I wanted that as my background so bad. And I kept on getting told, no, that doesn't help your vision. And I'm like, why not? It doesn't help your vision. Then I found this lighthouse. I'm like, oh. And my guides were like, that's your vision. And I go, why? They said, you're the guiding light. So they don't hit the rocks. If they choose to hit the rocks, you'll show the light that they're hitting the rocks. If they choose to follow, they'll go around the rocks. I'm like, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I even had before this lighthouse, I had a different one and the ocean was really crazy and I couldn't have it. I was going crazy seeing it on Zooms.
Was it a video? Was it
No,
a
it was
movie?
just like this, but the ocean
Very rough
was rough,
ocean.
right? It wasn't calm.
Mm.
And I couldn't use it. And I was like, "Holy." So you like so this is like if anything that I could share with your listeners is don't discount the little nuances, right? It's like the old saying, first a pebble will come, then a rock, then a brick, then a boulder. You keep on going, the house caves in. Let's get it at a pebble.
Right.
Don't wait for the storm to take your house and collapse it in because you've created the storm.
Right.
Regardless of what's happening outside of us, we create our inner storm.
Yeah, let's nip it in the bud, shall we?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to go
Yeah.
a lot smoother that way.
Yeah.
What so what is that, I guess in a way you've answered my next question, which is what lights you up the most about what you do?
I love when I see it in people or hear it in their voice. I get it.
Mm,
I get like and it's like and then I'll watch the transformation over the next week, months, right? And if they stay in touch with me, even better, because then in a year I go, oh my gosh, and they go, would never have dreamt that I could have the life I have,
wow.
right? And yeah, like it's just beautiful, and it's like it's even in our soul families. Like there's no accident when people come into your life, and don't hang on to the ones that are supposed to go,
Right.
right? Because I used to go, why is everyone leaving my life again? Or am I the one leaving? Whatever, right? They're not
Yeah.
supposed to be here. Because it's like the old saying, if you keep every book you ever had on your bookshelf, how do you get new books to read? Your
Right.
bookshelf is so full you can't get the new books. And I took it one step further and stopped buying books altogether. Because either someone will lend it to me to read or I'll get it from the library. Just I want that flow to keep coming and going. And it's like if it comes in the library and I start reading it and I go, yeah, no, not the right time. I'll put it back, put another hold on it. Maybe in
Right.
6 months when it comes back, I'm supposed to read it or I pass it on again.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you'll know when it's the right time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all do. I think we all
Mm-hmm.
have that ability. It's just a matter of practicing it,
Yeah.
maybe just getting
Well, and
more
it's just like I didn't want to start a podcast. Why do I want to start a podcast?
right.
But I've never turn away all those beautiful people I've met and will continue to meet. And then
Exactly.
because I started podcasts, I wasn't scared to be on podcasts.
There you go.
I wouldn't have met you.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
My so-called neighbor in a different province.
And you're only one province away.
Yeah, right.
Us.
And so so yeah, like it's just when you open up your heart to the abundance of everything, you're going to be showered. Don't get stuck don't get stuck in the hiccups of how you think the plan should be.
Right.
Because when I heard that, when I'm like, I have all these plans, and you hear God laughing, it's just like, right,
That's gonna work.
right, and yeah, and so it's like, but I know in my heart, I'm one. I'm here for the unity. I'm here to help everyone come home to them because I've been on this journey my whole life. Some days I'm 1000% there, other days I'm 1000% not there.
Hmm.
But the ones that I'm not there are getting less and less and less.
Yeah, exactly. I love that idea of coming home
Hmm.
to yourself,
Hmm.
meaning, um, I guess, how would you describe it? Coming home to yourself, coming home to your soul,
Well, your God essence,
your
and it's not,
essence.
and it's not the church God,
No, I know.
right? And it's because oh Lord, I tried doing that church thing. I went to many churches, many, and I'm like, wow, you guys don't get it, right? And I'd be like,
Yeah,
interesting.
everyone's got to do it their own way.
Well, I know, but it like, and like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've had amazing pastors and amazing people in the
Sure.
church that do incredible work, yet they're separate from God.
Hmm. They
God
see
is outside
themselves.
of them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, God is inside. Or I'm not a child of God. And I'm like, then why are you leading this class? And they're like, what? I have too many sins. And I'm like, how are you leading this class? We're on a retreat teaching.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my Lord. But it's okay. Everyone has their journey,
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
you know. And yeah, like, and it's even interesting reading the Bible because the Bible is so humanized and taken away from the original writings that it's hard to even say read the Bible as your guiding light because it can be interpreted so many ways.
Exactly. And is.
Yeah, and it's just interesting.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
exactly. Well, Adele, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah,
Really enjoyed it. Maybe you'll come on again and we'll talk about other stuff. We can
I
talk
like
about
that.
animals
Oh,
and intuition and things like that. But we will leave that for another time. Look for
okay.
something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your enlightening conversation on transitions and um, what happens in your home and energies in your home and your body and how those things go hand in hand. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay.
Thank you.